So today I am so excited to be talking with my guest, Sylvia De Fanti. She is an actress of the stage and screen who you know as Mother Superion on Netflix's Warrior Nun. So thanks for being with me today, Sylvia.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Happy to
here.
be here.
Yeah. Happy to speak with you. There have been some very, very devoted fans who have campaigned for Warrior Nun to come back for a third season. What was it like to see this movement around hashtag Save Warrior Nun?
Well, it's been amazing. I think that it's quite historically new and yeah, epic was one of the words used to describe it. I mean, this is beyond just support. I think it's about the capacity to organize and to the skills to network that way and to create that attention and that the creativity. Yeah, I used to say that I want to hire them. If I could, I would hire all these all these girls for their capacity abilities, and then also the how they articulate their thoughts about the content of the show. Uh, so it's not just about appreciation, admiration. It's about what they see in the characters, what they see, what they read about the story. Um, and I would say also it's not just about representation matters. I think it's the it's about the layers of understanding that all these amazing supporters and groups showed and expressed. And I think that's beyond flattering. I think it really gives a meaning to what we do. Because if we were able to empower even just one girl about her own life story, I think that's amazing.
Yeah, and certainly is empowering. I'm not a female, but I felt empowered. Your character was so badass, if I could say that. What was it that you really hoped people would get out of your performance as Mother Superior? Because that role was such a breakout character for so many people.
Thank you. um, I don't ask myself what the effect is going to be. Um, I generally focus on what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and I think this is a lot about the stakes. Um, the stakes were really high, so it was
Mhm.
about immediately about life, death, uh, protecting sisterhood, deciding which part. She's a partisan. She decides to go against the hierarchy of her own institution where she belongs to, and to take part firmly in her, in the belonging to the sisterhood, so to her girls and to the horizontal level and not to the vertical one. And so those are in the show. There are many pivotal moments where she takes decisions very clearly, and and the stakes are really high.
Mm.
So it's not, yeah, they're not daily activities. It's everything is very um extreme.
Mm.
So and I think also that mm, the narrative that she brings to the show is about knowing how to change, how to shift also. Um, and I hope, I have a hope. I hope that they and luckily I think they did that. They also saw the soft part,
Mm.
the funny part, the ironic part of Mother Superior that I think is something that came out new in season two.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it was really interesting to see just the character arc and growth in season two. Um, Hopefully it's been long enough that we can kind of have that spoiler chat a little bit, but it just seeing that growth that happened, that we could see her past, her vulnerability, as well as her power. What was that like to kind of get to explore the character more in depth in the second season?
It was a great chance because in first season mm, I already made some decisions about her past,
Mhm.
uh, not in details, but you need to have the previous circumstances have to be very clear
Mhm.
about the character, about the motivations, what drives her, uh, where is her, you know, her wound, what's her need, um, what's her goal and her mission. So those were decisions that I already had explored in part. So then finally reading them on paper and seeing that, oh, good, that's that's a choice I've made because it clearly came from something about the ego and the pride and how when she was younger she pushed boundaries too much, um, and she felt, of course, she had superpowers, but that was dangerous, and she pushed too much. Um, and so in order to align myself to that, I asked myself where and when that happens or did happen in my life, and you try to create uh, overlapping situations where you can literally see yourself in that, and 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 actually those are common situations.
Mhm.
And it's not about being a superhero. It's about when in life you push too much and you had to learn the lesson in the worst way possible, and when that lesson is so strong that it leaves you scars, in this case not just metaphorical scars but real scars, um, and then how when you put the mask down and your private persona is revealed, how much you want to reveal about that. And I think that this storyline really gave me the chance to reveal my vulnerability and why, and the why about all the decisions that I took and I take.
Mhm. And going back to kind of the why, reading your biography and hearing about your life, I know you've done a lot of activism with Occupy Rome and things like that. And so I just wonder how that activism influences your art for the better.
Very much. And I think the influence is about, again, about the stakes. um, how much you want to, how much you care about what you talk about, how much you care about uh, exposure. You don't, every job is different, and finding a way to use your voice in different characters, I think that uh, is a great luck and opportunity. So even if something seems distant from you, finding a way to make it yours and to use it as a voice of awareness, I think that is interesting. It's not
Mhm.
always possible, but I think the it's worth the try.
Yeah. And I guess for you, what is that awareness? What are maybe some of the things that you hope people get out of your career as a whole and get out of your performances?
Awareness of your rights. It's I think it's one of the most important awarenesses that exists.
Mm.
Awareness of the interconnection with all the other human beings, and how our fortune is not given for granted because we live here
Mhm.
in the Western side, Western society. And I think it's just important to have clarity about your position in geography, in the society where you live, how you were raised, and I think it's important to get the right information, and to give the right information, to take care of the ones that are younger, to give them accessibility to culture and information. Yeah, that's, I don't know if they're the most important, but certainly those are the aspects that always have driven me.
Mm. Yeah. And, I think for me, just as someone who has done a lot of progressive activism, I know I'm always kind of looking at things with a critical lens and thinking, what changes do I want to see in society and the industry I work in? Um, I guess one thing, and I'm always curious to hear this from other people who have been both an artist and an activist, is how do you balance wanting to see changes in the world and in industry, and also being a citizen and working within that industry too?
Oh, you mean the contradiction? I mean, there's other everything is a huge contradiction.
Mhm.
I strongly don't believe in purity and in purism. Uh I'm yeah, I believe in chaos theory, so it's not that I believe it exists. So and nothing is black or white. Nothing is binary. So I think that um, you really have to train yourself to that thought. Um, and every moment that you can, try to push a little bit, to talk, to listen, um, raise your voice if it's necessary, or use it. Uh, and just ask yourself the right questions every time. And sometimes you can't, or you're not able, or you're not strong enough to be that brave or courageous, or point is that you can't be alone.
Mhm.
You just can't be alone. You need allies, you need sisters, you need brothers, you need communities.
Mhm.
You can't fight alone. You can be the first, the second. You can put the first step. I mean, all the revolutions, big ones, started from a grand gesture, but there was a community there uh, that was ready to follow that gesture.
Mhm.
So I think that this is the big scheme on a daily basis. I think it's important to ask questions. Why am I doing this? And also be sincere. I mean, we can't be always at the best. we have we have all aspects inside ourselves, ambition and mm, petty feelings sometimes, that kind of, uh, we want to avoid pain and get pleasure. That's human.
Mhm.
But I think that yeah, and it's part of the growth, also going through those kinds of phases, and just continuing to ask yourself questions about where you want to go, who you want to be,
Mhm.
and who you want to be with.
Yeah, that's, you know, sisterhood is definitely something that I think at least I got out of Warrior Nun, and that sense of togetherness. And so I do have to ask, if the opportunity were to come to get back in the habit Not saying that it would or wouldn't happen, but in a hypothetical universe, would you do it?
It makes me laugh because there are many variables there.
Okay.
I mean, I'm very attached, and I love Mother Superior characters.
Mm,
I guess a lot depends on what we want to tell about her.
mhm. Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
You know, unfortunately, she doesn't live there. She's
Yeah.
not my neighbor.
Yeah.
She lives here, so
Mm,
it's something that would actually depend on many factors, and
mhm,
especially about the story. You know, the story, what we want to say, what we want to tell, and then there's going to be a Mother Superior in all my characters. So it's
yeah.
it's a
So
me. It's a
so what's next for Sylvia?
I don't know. I mean, I just can't say things,
Mm,
or but I can I have right now things going on about my company and
mhm,
productions, 3 new productions. So
mm,
it's all very exciting. And then there are
yeah.
other things that are mystery.
Great. All
Mhm.
right.
Let's
Yeah.
see. Let's see.
Yeah, it's just the mystery of life. Got to see how it works. So I am such a big fan of Warrior Nun and of your work. Really excited to see what the future holds. And
Me
this
too.
was a really cool conversation. I mean, I think you're such a fascinating person, and your activism, your work is so incredible. So I really want to thank you for talking with me today.
Thank you so much. It's
Yep.
been a pleasure.
Yep. Thanks, Sylvia.